my channel, a little bit about everything. I put an ad out in one of the local sort of like flea market, online flea market thing, where you can either sell or buy objects or look for jobs, or it's like a place for everything. And I put an ad for 3D printing, and there's a fellow who, I'm not going to use his name, but he said he had a bass guitar, which, here it is. It's a J. Tercer guitar, okay? And I see there's a knob missing here. There's a knob missing down here. But he had some work done because there was probably distortion or something, or noise that he would pick up. So he had it ground off the capacitor, okay? And there's a cover that goes on top of this. It's not there anymore. What I'm going to do is make him a cover for this. And also, I'm going to be using Fusion 360 with Cura and my Creality 3D printer. Okay? I'm going to make it out of PLA, black PLA, which goes with the rest of the stuff on the guitar, black pickups and everything else. Alright? And the manner in which I'm going to do this, I'm going to take a picture, use that picture as a canvas, then run splines around it, and then create a 3D object out of it from my sketch, right? You always make a sketch and then you press pull or shape it the way you want to, either in sculpt or in solid, okay? And the way I'm going to scale this is, I'm going to take two known points, which are the screw holes. I'm going to take a measurement of these screw holes, and that's what's going to create the dimensions on my picture. Because my picture is true no matter at what scale. I just have to know at what scale it's going to fit on this guitar. And by doing that, all I got to do is dimension 2 points on it when I scale it. Okay? So, I've already taken a picture of this, and next I'm going to go to Fusion 360 and model this out. Okay? So let's get started. The phase, then select image to import. Okay, so I'm going to get my image. And if I look through here, insert from my computer. So I'm going to do that. So here I am on my desktop, and it is the latest photo, the image here, and I do believe it's this one. And now I'm going to select the plane on my XY plane, and there's my canvas. I'm trying to zoom in and it's not working. I'm going to say, oh, I think I'm crashing. No? Oh, way too late. You really got a high resolution in that picture, huh? So I'm going to say OK to this and bring it into view. It's computing graphics. And there it is. Now I'm going to draw an outline around this. And as you can see, they put a aluminum sheet or a conductive sheet, and they put a little capacitor in the corner and grounded it off, so it doesn't pick up any noises in the wires and whatnot. Now I'm going to create a sketch here. Okay. And I'm going to use a function, not line, but spline. Creates a spline through the selected fit points. And it says select the first point to start the spline and select additional points to fit points. Here, and the more detail I can put to it, the better it's going to be. So I'm assuming that's the correct line for it. Look there. And there seems to be a little, it's still snapping. If I hit control, I can do a better job on this. I can sort of start giving it curvature, so I can follow the outline of this drawing. And I want to keep it pressed. So you sort of get the gist of it, right? So I'm just following the shadows. Way on there. Picture, and right here I'm not sure if I gotta follow that shadow or not. Gotta follow the light spot. So the light spot would be more over here. Click on this one. I'm seeing here. You see it right there. And if I click on this one again. Oh shit, I grabbed two at once. Here. Oh, pardon my language. Some things I need to know, right? Like I said, I need to know the space between these two bolt holes. That'll tell me what scale to put my canvas to. And then all these proportions that I draw out on my canvas will be directly related to the size, the real size of this plastic piece. And then I need to know, see that? That's a depth gauge at the end of a vernier, right? So I need to know the depth of this there, and I get a reading. It's 78 thousandths of an inch. Okay. I have my depth. I have my depth at 0.78. I can finish my sketch right here, and then click on this. I want to press pull, and I'm going to go it's in thousandths, 0.078 thousandths. Click OK. And if I turn off my canvas, I have it here. Okay, and I want to measure, make sure, select that edge to this edge. Okay, now it says in millimeter. I should have typed in inches. I thought it seemed a little bit thin. So I'm going to go here to my press pull and edit this feature. And now, instead of putting millimeter, I'll put inch. And click OK. Now that looks a lot better. That looks like the real deal. Modify this feature. I can put a chamfer. Right. So if I select the edge of this circle and bring this into view, I can chamfer this hole as such. I'm going to click OK. And now I want to see the OD of this thing. Radius 2.8 millimeters. So I'm wondering if this will work. I don't have the screw, so it's kind of difficult. And repeat this over here. Can I select these edges? Yes, I can. And I'm going to select these edges, and I'm going to put a fillet on these. Modify, fillet, a very small fillet. Oh geez, my selections went away. Okay, so let's see what this looks like up close. That's not a little more. So let's see what happens. Oh, I can choose the format of it, right? STL binary, STL, or 3MF. 3MF means manufacturing, I believe. 3D manufacturing. And a refinement is medium, which is fine for this. I can preview the mesh if I want. Number of triangles, nothing happened. If I say STL binary, create a mesh. There it is, 6,124 triangles for this piece. And I want to save it. I'm going to click OK. Here we are on Cura. And there are, oh, I got a new version. version of this, 411, and this is 4.9 version. Okay. I'm going to be using black PLA, and it is Eson black PLA. And the nozzle here, if I go to here, I can set nozzle sizes anywhere from 0.2 to 1 millimeter nozzles. And it's black PLA. Okay. I have all these manufacturers I can choose from, and I chose black PLA from Eson. Okay. And I'm going to go get my file, open file, and the file's on my desktop, and it is right here, C, Cura, base cover, STL model. Click on that, open that, there it is, and all I have to know if it's flipped upside down or not, and it's not. Okay, now since this is somewhat thin, I don't want it to warp. So you want to make sure you have a brim around this which dissipates the heat. Okay, and brim skirt line width. Okay, width of a single skirt or brim line. So I'm going to scroll down this here and go to infill density. I want 100%. That's where you might get elephant's foot, they call that, when it starts peeling off the corners. I hope it doesn't happen. It is okay, so what I was looking for was the ironing command. I can iron the top level or all of it. And to iron means I'm actually going to print at a level height of 1 millimeter at a higher flow rate to smoosh out all the little holes that are left behind from the previous level. I started using these guys. The filament does a pretty good job, right? And this is what I'm using right there. 1.75 millimeter black filament. I use the highest temperature on there. Get better results. And they provide you with information here. Polymer resin, print temperatures, and all this stuff. Bed temperature, print temperature, heat distortion, density, melt flow index, not sure. Tensile strength. These guys. And I have my. It comes in this sealed package so moisture doesn't get in there, because printing material with moisture causes bubbles and defects in the print. Okay. Now I haven't started this in a while. I don't know if it's going to load up right away or if I have to do some tinkering with it. Okay, so let's turn this on. I've loaded up my chip. Since it's not going to go at a higher level, I'm not going to spool it out through the top. I'm going to spool it out through the bottom. That way I make sure I don't get any kinks in the filament. Okay. So this is empty right now. I'm just going to cut off a piece to get that kink out of it. Okay. And this is pretty hot. So now I'm just going to bring up the file. Print from SD card. So the print has started. It's printing the brim. It should do 8 millimeters, and we're up to about 5. And it's doing the inside first. This actually prints nice. Well, the splines and the sketch were correct, but the machine will print the trajectories that are given, or the vectors that are given by the CAD program. And there's tool offset, okay? If you don't know the diameter, let's say of an end mill on a CNC machine, let's say the machine thinks it has a 1/2 inch end mill, yet you really have a 3/4 inch end mill. Well, you're taking off from the center, the radius, instead of being 1/4, you're taking off 3/8 of an inch. So whatever you do is going to be 1/4 of an inch smaller overall. Like if it was an oval or circle, overall it's going to be 1/4 of an inch smaller. Okay. The printer will do sort of the same thing, shrinkage, or depending on what kind of feed rates you give the material. It's like taking a tube of toothpaste and squirting it out. If you really give to it and you're close to your material, the bead's going to splatter out, going to be wider, right? Now if you have your bead higher up, you're going to get more of a lay down like the full width of the bead. You're not smushing it into a certain, right? Well, that's what the printer does. If you got 1.75 millimeter filament coming out of a 0.4 nozzle, okay, 0.4 of a millimeter, and if you smush it down to 0.2, the width of that, if you're not going fast enough, is going to be actually wider than expected. The faster you go, the thinner the thinner the strip's going to be. So I ended up with a piece about overall 1.5 or 1.25 millimeter wider than I wanted. So now I got to go to my sketch and reduce that, probably with an offset, make it smaller, and use the same print settings to get the correct diameter of that plate. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to edit my sketch and give it another whirl, see what happens. Okay, so third try. This was my first try, and what happened here was I had between levels I had 1.5, so it's not even touching, right? First level was set at 0.2 millimeters or something, or maybe even slighter than that, maybe 0.15. Okay, second try, the ironing features came out okay, and it's in a zigzag fashion. And this travel here is because the machine is set for printing aircraft parts, and if you don't want any blob builds up in an aircraft part, you don't want the nozzle to leave the print. I should have put a Z-retract in it between my jumps, but this way it leaves the part seamless. There are no seams to it. Okay, it's not like I'm doing one level starting off and going back to the same spot starting off next level and doing that every time, and then when you look from the side you see a big seam. So this part here is slightly too big. It was bang off the measurements, but it was slightly too big because of the way it was printed. So next time over, I took the same outline and did an offset by 1.25 of a millimeter, which is really an offset of 0.625. And this piece fits. Okay, if I put a screw on either side, it is flush and it fits.